uh, BMS 4th year faculty of Ayurveda, IMS PhD Varanasi. He'll be presenting his paper on Stool Speaks a Lot in Ayurveda, from Koshta to Agni to Purisha. So please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. Can I have this one? Thank you. So I will request you to remind me a couple of minutes before the 10 minutes are going to be over, right? 2 minutes before, please remind me. Right? Thank you. So this presentation is primarily meant for undergraduate students of Soba Rigpa and the experts of Ayurveda. Please don't mind it because it's at the very basic level, just for the introduction to the Soba Rigpa students, that what we deal about at the basic level. So first of all, as sir was saying, that Soba Rigpa is not like BSMS, BMS, it's not called that. So Ayurveda is actually called Ayurveda Charya. It's for the our modern counterparts that we have made it BAMS, Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. The actual name of Ayurveda is Ayurveda Charya, like we have in Soba Rigpa. Let's move forward to the journey. Okay, so it's working. Yeah. So, as it's there, Purish Pariksha. Purish stands for feces or stool and Pariksha is an examination. So Purish Pariksha is a vital pathological investigation tool used to diagnose the disease in an individual. The variations occurring in Purish, that is feces, have been explained well in Ayurveda, but are available at different places and are needed to be smartly interpreted. So these different places are given in the reference at the last page. I will stop for a couple of minutes over there. You can note it down. It's like 10 references I have collected all around, talking about Purish somewhere. Right? So Purish Pariksha gives us information about the status of Agni. I will explain Agni. And symptoms of abnormal doshas. Doshas are like some of friends were telling about Soba Rigpa, the three similar to Vata, Pitta and Kapha, Rang, and if you any of you can name it, right? Could you please Rang and what were the bandhas, something from B. Similarly, there are doshas. So with the types of Purish, we can identify Vata, Pitta and Kapha, right? So prognosis of diseases and presence of parasites. Some of the physicians here, they know how they do it with the stool examinations in Ayurvedic as well. Then, what's Koshta? So, as the title said, from Koshta to Agni to Purish, that is feces. So, what's Koshta? Koshta stands for the cavity in the body for giving place to internal organs, right? From the physiological point of view, it is explained as intestinal movements in accordance to the individual's constitutions. Let me make it clear, the things explained in here are being tried to be translated in English, but like to understand Soba Rigpa to the soul, you have to understand Tibetan. Similarly, to understand Ayurveda to the soul, you will have to understand Sanskrit. But for the understanding perspective, I've tried to translate it to English and somewhat understand it. And when we don't keep care of our Koshta in good condition, as we inherit it at birth, it starts to develop diseases. So the type of Koshta to inherit at birth has been divided into three types, from Vata, Pitta and Kapha Prakriti. And let me tell you, there is nothing like Vata, Pitta and Kapha Prakriti. Things are like how much Vata you have, how much Pitta you have, and how much Kapha you have. So it's like the DNA composition we talk in modern medicine, that this. So similarly, it's the ratio comparison. So everybody is blessed with some type of Koshta, and you have to maintain it in a normalcy. And like I will explain it later, and you can ask him questions also, right? So there are various types of Koshta according to individual constitution, which I'll explain later. So, what is Krur Koshta? There are three talks. First is Krur Koshta. Krur Koshta fundamentally is seen in individuals with Vata Prakriti, right? Krur stands for stiff in Sanskrit. So, Krur Koshta stands for hard intestinal movements. Many people in constipation. So that's hard intestinal movements. Hence, Vata Prakriti individual naturally have hardships in evacuation of feces stool. So in hostels, we face problem with many of the guys who are like in the washroom, and there are common washrooms. So we face problem, they are sitting for hours. So these are the Vata Prakriti guys. Next is distinguishing qualities of crude coast are hardships in evacuation of stool and uncertain behavior of stool. So if there is some guy who's having feces and pressure like in 2 days or in 1 day, a very irregular behavior, and if he's taking a lot of time in washroom, tell him that you are a Vatas Prakriti guy. So that's something very practical. Okay, so fundamentally seen in so it's Mridu Kosh, next one. For Pittish Prakriti, Mridu stands for delicate, Mridu Kosh stands for easy intestinal movements. Pittish Prakriti individuals have smoothness and effortlessness in evacuation of stool. So it's also not that good. If you are getting into the washroom and you are unable to control your pressure, it's required to control this pressure. If you are feeling, anybody is feeling pressure right now, and if you have to run out of it, you will have to miss my lecture. So Pittish is also, I mean, extremes are never good. Similarly like this. Okay. So distinguishing qualities of Mridu Kosh are effortless in evacuation of stool, like you went in and it's out, right? And then feces are wet and slippery and yellowish coloration. For the further explanation, there are specific gunas as in qualities of Pittash. So snigdha, dravya, that is anxious and liquid. So because of that it's there. If anybody needs, I can explain it later. Okay. So because I want to make some time out for questions also. Okay. So fundamentally seen, Madhyam Kosh is especially in Kafach individuals, and Madhyam stands for not to the extremes. So it's like medium, but not exactly, not to the extremes, right? So Madhyam stands for medium intestinal movements, okay? Kafach Prakriti individuals naturally have moderate and easy evacuation of stool since birth. So it's good to be moderate. I mean, neither you are just running up to it, or nor it's like you are sitting in for hours, right? It's good to be, okay, I can control it, I can go for after 15 minutes. Okay, next. Distinguishing qualities of Madhyam Kosh are moderate effort in evacuation of stools and feces and are moderate and adhesive in nature. You can well understand it. Okay, so next is Agni. So from Kosh we have now jumped to Agni. Kosh is the GIT that I explained you. Now we have come on to Agni. Agni is said to be present in Amasya. Amasya is the Sanskrit word for stomach. Again, it's not the exact translation. For understanding the exact philosophy behind it, we have to understand the language too. Then, where partial digestion occurs, we know that stomach, partial digestion occurs, and then Grani is there, which comprises of duodenum and also some part of small intestine. So Grani is again the main term in Ayurveda for understanding it further. It's in Sanskrit, English we have translated it. So completion occurs, then food moves on, ahar as we call it in Sanskrit, moves on to the stool formation process, and Agni helps in digestion. Now Mand Agni is there are 3 types of Agni again, Mand, and I will move forward with other ones. So it's seen in Kafach Prakriti individuals. Mand stands for them, and Mand Agni is like mild to moderate digestion. Okay, Kafach Prakriti individuals naturally have moderate bowel movements since birth. Okay, next. Then it's Visham Agni. Visham Agni is seen in individuals with Vatas Prakriti, right? So Visham stands for irregular movements. So Visham Agni stands for unpredictable and inconsistent digestion. Sometimes I ate something and it's digested, and next time, oh my god, I ate so much, this time it's not getting digested. So it's irregular, it's not definite for that guy. Okay, then Vatas Prakriti individuals naturally have irregular bowel movements since birth. So the things you see in them are since birth. Now, for example, this one, Visham Agni guy. If he's going to consume the Vatas Prakriti food, the food is also divided in 3 parts for more time. Like if you are a Vatas guy and you are eating more Vatas Prakriti food, it's going to aggravate to the further level and you're going to suffer through disease, which another Prakriti guy, if he's going to consume the Vatas food, is not going to suffer through it. Because he's not to the end point of it and you are to the borderline, right? So if you're going to have it, you are going to suffer through the disease, but naturally you are not suffering through a disease. Naturally, your constitution is that you are meant to have this digestion, which is different from your hospital mates or batchmates, right? So this irregular and unpredictable nature of Agni leads to the formation of crude Kosh, which is also of irregular nature, and the evacuation of stool becomes difficult and tough. Next. Then Tikshna Agni. Tikshna Agni is in Pittish Prakriti individuals. Tikshna means sharp or intense, and Tikshna Agni stands for quick and intense digestion, right? It's like you have eaten it, oh my god, I'm again feeling hungry in next 1 hour. So these guys, you say you are eating a lot, but actually it's the problem of the God-gifted constitution. Okay, and not a problem, it's there. We should respect everything that's created by God, so it's one of them. Next.
Yeah, for 2 minutes.
Okay, Pittish Prakriti has these qualities. Next is Purisha. So we have come on to Purisha. We have jumped through Kosh to Agni to Purisha. Purisha is physiological and pathological. They are both of them. Vatas Prakriti Purisha is going to have these 2, hard bowel movements and dark color and dry stool. Pittish Prakriti is going to have soft and easy, as I have explained earlier, before, right? Mridu and all. So then Pittish Prakriti guy is going to have the frequent defecation. Kafach Prakriti guy is going to have moderate bowel movements and irregular evacuation, and regular evacuation, sorry. and then Sampurisha. So these were the physiological ones. Now I'm talking about the pathological ones, right? So Sampurish is the pathological one, the arm over there. So diseases like Sampurish, it fuses with mal and excretion. So your Purish, as Ayurveda says, there are sway, that is sweat, and Mudra, that is urine. So it fuses with them and creates the pathological conditions. Okay, that's the Ayurvedic way of understanding things as I do it. Okay, so Jal Nimajjan Pariksha is there, that you put your Purish in water. And it is said in Shastras that if the Purish sinks, it's Sampurish, otherwise it's Nirampurish. I'm talking about it later. Sampurish is evacuated in higher frequency and quantity along with disgusting odor, frequency and odor. It can cause a stomachache and illness. Okay, Nirampurish is there, does not combine with mal, dosha, and so it's okay. And regular frequency, color odor is the perfect guy. Okay, these are the references. Please open for questions.
Alright, we'll take one question because there's limited time for that. We've got only 30 seconds now. So one question we'll take up at the most. If there are any. Yes, you have? Yeah.
He's an expert of Ayurveda.
Oh yeah.
I would like some sober requirement to ask him because these things are very basic for him.
Right.
These things are like he's been learning it for years more than me.
Anyone from the Sorikpa?
Anybody of Sovarikpa interested in any of the concepts that I just quickly jumped through such that I can complete it and let you ask a question? And he can assist me in answering because he's a better expert than me.
Okay, only one thing.
Yeah.
Have you skipped something in Koshta? Actually, only to complete that.
Yeah, and to make out some time for questions because I wanted them to. It's mainly meant for those because I think so. Knowing more than one dimension of medicine is always important. Koshta. So Koshta, you can understand it's the cavity. I translated it to GIT, not exactly, but similar to GIT. So Koshta is good, inherited. It's given something since birth. So Vata's Prakriti individual is going to have Koshta. Vata's in the sense, if you want to identify me, he's spending a lot of time in washroom. Okay, so that's a true Koshta guy. Okay, and uncertainty and hardships. So that guy is not in the pathological condition, it's his physiological condition. But if that guy is going to consume Vata's Prakriti Ahar, okay, then he is going to turn it into a pathological conditions. But if that guy is going to have Kafaj Prakriti Ahar, that is going to turn this guy, Madhyam Koshta guy, into pathological condition, but not the crude Koshta guy, because he is not in the extremes of that. So there are three directions: identifying which extreme you are and avoid eating the food of that type to avoid such diseases as